right, mate. I think we are now live.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is two crazy guys in one crazy crypto world, and please excuse the tone of my voice, the sound of my voice. As Stacey mentioned yesterday, I'm suffering from a dose of the man flu. But as I mentioned in one blurb, he forgot to say that this is actually not just the man flu. This is the Canberra man flu. And everyone who lives in Canberra knows that the Canberra man flu is way worse than the standard man flu. So, as you can tell from my voice, I am struggling just a tiny little bit. So whilst I am online today, I will hand over to my offsider, Mr. Stacey, who will take us through our daily crypto update. Good morning, Stacey. How are you?
Mate, I'm probably doing a little bit better than you, I think, at the moment. So
You're in Queensland. You're in Queensland, which is warm, so therefore it's given.
I've got something to show you, Mr. Deal. You're going to be very surprised.
You're wearing a jumper.
I know, but I don't know if you can see this. Oh, that's going to mess with the... Hang on.
It's messed it up. What's it doing?
Messed it up.
Just tell me. I can see it.
Okay, that's not going to work. We had, when I got up this morning, our temperature was minus 0.7.
There you go. See, now he's going to get cameraman.
Feels like minus 2.9.
Well, that's good. I am very pleased that
crazy is that?
Well, I'm very pleased that at least for a moment you get to enjoy what we're experiencing every day. Because our last weekend that just went by, Canberra never got to double digits at any point in time.
Oh, I remember those days.
Anyway, rather than give everyone a weather update and me keep talking like this, how about I hand over to you and you give us a daily crypto update where we're going to tell everyone how fabulous crypto is and not to believe Donald Trump.
Well, we might talk a bit about that too. Yeah, that's right. So let me share my screen with you, Mr. Deal, and let me know that you can see that chart sitting there.
I can see that chart sitting there. I'm just going to mute my microphone just in case I cough and stuff.
No worries, you do that. All right. So we've so if you're watching the cryptos over the weekend and tuned in very briefly for the update yesterday, you would have noticed that we had a bit of a downturn. You know, things were heading south, and as usual, there's panic over the social media world, which always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh. It's like it's this crypto; it goes up, it goes down, right? But in particular, look, it's actually a good thing because it gave us a really good pullback from that sharp rise that we had earlier in the year, and it went up. It went up really fast, almost 3 times the price it was at the beginning of the year, and we were floating around the 3.5 to 4,000 US for quite a while, and then all of a sudden we hit almost 14,000 US. So it jumped quite significantly. So a 30 to 40% pullback is actually really healthy, and it's really good. So, and in fact, if I look at the chart, you'll see here that's actually bounced right off the 50-day moving average beautifully, and is coming back quite strong. So people ask me, when's a good time to buy Bitcoin? Now. Buy now. That's what that would be the advice.
How about any time?
Well, anytime, absolutely, right? Because look, the reality is, anytime you buy Bitcoin this year, it's probably the cheapest you'll ever see it for the rest of your life.
Well, I just read not long ago, this morning, I read a financial analysis from one of the people in the States who was talking about the possibility of Trump being Trump.
Oh,
and
yes.
but we were talking about the 50-day moving average and everything. And their fair assessment of Bitcoin right now, they think it will actually pull back to around $8,000. However, they think that it will boom in the second half of this year, for primarily the last quarter, and that it will finish the year between 20 and 40,000 US.
Correct.
That's not a bad prediction.
No. And to be honest, I've also seen other predictions that Bitcoin may hit 100,000 this year. So who knows? Right?
I've seen them, but they said they were after the halving next year, and you've got to tell me what the halving is, because I'm not cutting out of that.
Yeah, look, we won't go into too much detail, but let's just say very simply, the halving simply means that the reward that the miners get for mining Bitcoin halves, right? So every 4 years, the reward that they get for mining Bitcoin reduces by half. So that's going to happen about May next year. And traditionally, whenever that happens, the price of Bitcoin shoots up, which makes sense. I mean, it's, scarcity
Absolutely.
and supply-demand economics. If the price of something that is becoming more scarce becomes, the reward and the effort to bring it into existence reduces, then obviously the price per that unit is then going to go up, right? It just makes sense, and certainly has. So if you look over history, every time around that 4-year halvening event, Bitcoin has gone on a big tear. So we are expecting to see the same. So just looking at the across the top 10, we are starting to see a bit of green again, which is a bit better than it was yesterday. So Bitcoin up 2%. Ethereum's been hit pretty hard. I'm not really sure what's going on with Ethereum at the moment. It's still down 25% for the week, but still showing 2.5% drop for the day. Ripple's sitting about the same. Litecoin's Fraz above. Bitcoin Cash 1.5 up. The Binance coin's down 3.45%. And EOS 2.2% up. We're not worried about Tether, and Bitcoin SV down another 4.73%. I'll be happy when that drops out of the top 10, to be honest.
Which one?
Bitcoin SV. It shouldn't be there. It doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. And at the moment, Tron and Stellar seem to be fighting it out for the 10th place. But anyway, so we're starting to see a little bit of green, and the market cap as well has had a bit of a turn upwards as well. So we got down as low as what's that, about 274 billion, and we're back up. We're approaching the 300 billion mark again. So we are getting there. And something we forgot to mention is that, and I'll just bring this up. So my yesterday update, it just goes to show I can't do this without you, dude, because my fat fingers was going back in time.
It was Daily Crypto Update, July 15th, 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, Stacey might be telling you that we're going back in time, but that's actually our clever plan. We're going to do reverse analysis. So we will always be right.
Exactly. We can't get it wrong if we're looking at price analysis of the past.
Well, Stacey, reality, this is us. We may still get it wrong. We might read the wrong page.
It's always possible. But anyway, I will update. So talking about Donald Trump, let's have a quick chat about him. So the great thing was Mr. Trump gets on the old Twitter, as he's been known to do on occasion, says, "I'm not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity." Now, I've got to, and then he actually goes on and points out Facebook specifically. He goes, similarly, Facebook Libra's virtual currency will have little standing or dependability. If Facebook and other companies want to become a bank, they must seek a new banking charter and become subject to all banking regulations, just like other banks. And goes on and on. But look, there's a couple of things here. And first of all, the fact that Donald Trump's not a fan of Bitcoin is no surprise to me. and it's a good thing. And it's a good thing, right? But he talks about it's highly volatile. Yeah, of course, it's a new asset. Of course, it's volatile. But all new assets start off volatile, and based on thin air. I love that. I mean, the fiat currency is US dollar that he proudly talks about. It's based on exactly the same thing, pure thin air, right? It's a monopoly money. In fact, it's worse. It's debt.
Yeah, have a look at the comment by Stephen Walk, 3 or 4 down. The US dollar's value is also based. There you go. The gold standard history.
Absolutely.
It's called fair currency for a reason.
Exactly. So the point certainly wasn't missed on many out in the Twitter sphere, that's for sure. And also him going on about as all these people do, that it facilitates unlawful behaviour and drugs and money laundering, all that sort of stuff. It's ridiculous because the amount of money that cash facilitates drug trade, illegal behaviour, money laundering far exceeds like the entire money put into cryptocurrencies, right? So it's just a joke.
Wasn't it the Commonwealth Bank here in Australia that just got done during the Banking Royal Commission for laundering money?
Oh, look, the amount of money. In fact, and I recommend everyone do this. You do a search. Fines to banks for money laundering.
It's amazing.
And around the world, it's insane, right? Trying to get something sort of recent. Europe's biggest fine, but I mean, man,
April 4th, the top one, April 4th, 2019.
2019. Okay, so let's have a look at what they've got there. I've seen some insane figures, like billions and billions of dollars. What have they got here? I haven't stung. Well, there's a $1.9 billion fine in 2012.
Yeah, but they paid $20 billion in fines between 2012 and now. There it is, there, doubling staff down the bottom paragraph. 9 big banks paid over 20 from 2012 to 2015,
and that's just what they've found. That's just what they've caught them on.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, for them to point the finger at cryptos, which I saw a recent study. Actually, no, it wasn't that recent. Now it's a couple of years ago now. But even a couple of years ago, they were the analysis that was done on the transactions. They said then that even with Silk Road, that it was well under 10% of all transactions could possibly have been used for illicit activity, and that was possible. So it was likely to be even less than that. And when you look at the total market cap, we're talking tiny dollars compared to all this. So it's quite funny. And in fact, there's one article I saw here where they said that 3 reasons Trump's tweets were actually good for Bitcoin.
Trump said it.
Yeah, well, that's it. And then look, as Trump knows, there's no such thing as bad publicity, which is true. It's getting it out there, and what's he got? 62 million followers that suddenly are going to hear something about crypto and Bitcoin. So that's a positive. So that's really good.
Yeah, because what he doesn't realise is that 61,995,000 of his followers, those that are not family, think he's a dork, and they watch it to see what he says next.
Well, and this is the second point that we made earlier, right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So there's a whole bunch of people that just, whatever Trump stands for, they'll just go the opposite, right? So they're saying that if Trump thinks it's bad, there's a whole bunch of people that are just going to go, well, it must be good, because if Trump's saying it's bad. And 3, and this is the one I did mention before too, the fact that Trump will focus his attacks on Facebook, and this is the difference, and I keep saying it over and over again, the difference between centralized and decentralized cryptocurrencies. So for Bitcoin, they can't point their finger at anyone, and they can't get it shut down. Whereas Facebook, the Libra coin, it's controlled by Facebook. So they're going to come at Facebook with everything. Which is great for the industry, because it gives a target that they can focus all that stuff on. And look, Facebook will get the regulations brought forward quite a lot, I'm sure, and will help in that space. But in the meantime, it's bringing awareness to the whole space and everything, which is really cool. And talking about regulations, we now have the very first token offering that is fully SEC qualified in the US. Now that's big news. That's big news. So the fact that they have now looked at, and I'm assuming this is a security. We'll delve into this in a lot more detail on our real podcast. And but the fact that the SEC has now fully approved a cryptocurrency token offering is massive news, and that's really cool. And then lastly, I just want to finish off with my continued warning for people that globally we're facing some tough times economically, and to be prepared. And regardless of what the federal banks are sort of doing to try and curb this downward trend, they're not succeeding. And there's in fact Peter Schiff, who's a well-known economic commentator in the US. He basically said, look, we're heading for a recession no matter what the Fed does with rates, right? Because they're already talking negative interest rates, and a number of places around the world.
I don't know how that works. You'll have to explain that to me.
It's a weird concept, right? But they've already got it in, was it Japan, Switzerland, Denmark, and another fourth, I can't remember the other country now. But there's at least 4 countries around the world that are already in negative interest rate territory. So basically, think of it this way: you deposit your money into the bank, and they will charge you interest to store your money. Right? Gone are the days where you're going to actually get interest back from the bank for depositing money. In those scenarios, it costs you, right? So it's ludicrous. It's crazy. And lending, I mean, I haven't seen the situation where if you lend money, you actually get paid for it. I don't think they do that. I think they just basically make it a zero rate, right? So you basically get interest-free money. And the whole concept behind that is to make people spend. Pure and simple. Yeah. It's pure and simple. Yeah. So,
okay.
All right. Well, let's. I think that's. I'll stop that. I think that's probably enough of an update for today. And you've done mighty fine, Mr. Deal. You've managed to survive the 15-20 minutes we've been online. So well done.
I don't know. I think my shirt is arguing with you. It's like. It's been on for an hour and I've got to go change it. So.
All right, no worries. Well, look, if you want more detail, people come and join us at our Patreon page. Speaking of which, Mr. Deal, you've got something to show.
I do. Fantastic. What is it?
You got a new parcel for our new promotion.
Do. Thank you. Thank you.
Patreon promotion.
Yeah. I think I'm not showing that again. My pride just freak out. I'm trying to wait for one of these little goodies, and my hands are just like my head right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, arrived fresh off the mint for our silver subscribers are.
Ta-da!
Look at this
little replica Litecoins. Look at that.
If you'd like to get your hands on one of these, please subscribe to Crazy Guys, One Crazy Crypto World.
Indeed. All right. Well, I think that'll do. And you can go rest.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. And I will be back online again with Stacey tomorrow morning. That hopefully with a voice that doesn't quite sound like I've swallowed the wrong thing. And,
make sure you change your job, mate. You might get a job with phone.
You never know.
Phone's extra or something.
Welcome to my party. All right. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Have a good one.
Bye.